Tana Mongeau has found herself in some drama this week, but for once, it's actually not her fault. Tana went on her podcast with Brooke, and she talked about how she was mindied by a really close friend of hers, and she is really upset over it. It's a mess, so let's get into it. A few years ago now, Tana Mongeau came out with a storytime video that's still causing some drama to this day. She did a storytime about how one of her friends that she named Mindy apparently hooked up with some guy that she liked in her house, and she caught it all on security footage. Now, even though Tana didn't say this person's real name, Tana fans found out right away who she was talking about. Tana was talking about Brooke, and Brooke got a lot of backlash. She ended up posting a video trying to clear her name, and it seemed like there were some people who believed her and some who just didn't. Tana and Brooke have completely moved on from that whole situation, and they're now really close. They have the Cancelled podcast together, and Tana's audience actually loves Brooke. Cancelled did take a bit of a break last year, but not because of any kind of fallout between them. It sounded like they were having some issues more on the management side of the podcast, so they just needed to take a break and figure things out. Cancelled has officially been back for a few months now, and Tana is back to talking about all of her drama. Yesterday they posted an episode called What Really Happened on Tana's Birthday Trip, and it sounds like a huge mess. It was recently Tana's birthday, and she took all of her friends on a trip to Turks and Caicos. From looking at everything Tana was posting from the trip, it looked like they had a really good time. But it turns out that's not the full truth. Tana opened up about something she found out during the trip between her best friend Ashley and Joey Joy from Too Hot to Handle. Now, Tana never specifically said Joey's name, but people pretty much figured it out. Joey was posting all these pictures with Tana from her birthday, and after the trip was over, Tana commented on one of the pictures and said, "Update guys, he mindied me." So, pretty obvious. They started off by talking about the Mindy situation from a few years ago. Tana was expressing a lot of regret over how she handled that whole situation, and Brooke got upset just thinking about everything again, and she sounded really remorseful towards Tana.
I hate our whole Mindy situation. I made a lot of mistakes during that situation. Like, I used to be the type of person who acted so much out of anger. But I learned a lot from our situation that, yes, I hated when that happened in the moment, but you and I could have discussed that. I should have never made that YouTube video.
At the same time, like, you were not invalid in making the, like, of course, like, there were parts of it that I, like, didn't love, but you're extremely hurt in a situation by somebody who was very close to you. I understand now, maybe not so much at the time, but, like, I understand now, like, where your head was at making the.
And I really love you, and I think, like I said, I learned a lot from that situation about how I would handle it differently, which I guess brings me to my current life.
Literally.
They talked about how stupid it was for them to nearly ruin the friendship they had over a guy who didn't really matter in the first place.
But
and I
like,
think that
still the whole thing, like, makes me a little bit, like, not sad, because, like, we do laugh about it now. It's like, that guy, if you guys knew that guy, like, come on.
It's hilarious.
And the reason all these emotions were being brought up again for them was because Ashley apparently did the same thing to Tana during the Turks and Caicos trip. It took them a while to finally say Ashley's name, but eventually it all came out. Tana said that she invited this guy that she used to date on the trip just as a friendship thing. She admitted to still having some sort of feelings for him and said she wouldn't have invited him if she knew there was someone else on the trip who he was seeing.
You have a little soft spot for him.
Like, I
it's
care
like,
about
he's
him.
a good guy.
I don't
like,
necessarily think that, like, we should be back together, like, at all. Maybe this person who was invited on the trip wouldn't have been invited if I was aware that there was a second person factor into it. The way I just, like, found everything out really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
You know, because I just don't think you need to, like, lie to people, you know?
She explained that she wouldn't have really cared that much if this person was just honest with her and let her know, instead of having this, like, 8-month-long thing without them being honest with her about it.
Anyone who gets with them to be honest with me about it, especially if there's an 8-month longevity to it.
It sounds like Tana is trying to take the Mindy situation that happened last time as a lesson and trying to apply what she learned from that to this situation. She's been friends with Ashley for over like 10 years, and she doesn't want to lose a friendship over a guy that doesn't really matter. But at the same time, it sounds like it's still hurt.
like 10, 11, 12 years. Like that's like a very like sad thing, and especially over a boy that doesn't matter to me at all, you know.
You and
we became
Ashley-
closer almost after.
You and Ashley have been friends forever. She has always been a good friend to you. She's always been like your sister.
And there's so many factors as well where like I think that maybe like she also thought it was okay.
Another huge thing that was revealed during this episode was that Ashley apparently doesn't like Brooke. Ever since Brooke and Tana had their Mindy situation, Ashley has stood firm in her stance of not trusting Brooke, and it sounds like Ashley's been pretty tough on her, even after Tana forgave her.
There was a lot of time where I think my friends, everyone, I had forgiven you. We had already restarted the canceled podcast, but people were like so still mean and still making you feel excluded, and still I think people were very much not so nice to you, and I would always defend you and stick up for you, but there were just certain people who were very stuck on Brooke.
Yeah.
Like she did this to Tana, so they can't be friends, like essentially. And I was like, well, we are friends, so.
Ashley actually did a video last year where she was answering questions, and one of them was about Brooke. People wanted to know if she was friends with Brooke, and if she wasn't, then why not?
There's definitely some questions about, like, are you and Brooke friends? Why don't you and Brooke follow each other? What's the tea with you and Brooke? Or Mindy, should I say?
Turns out, Ashley didn't like Brooke because of the whole Mindy situation.
I don't know. Personally, the whole Mindy situation rubbed me the wrong way, and I personally wouldn't want to be friends with someone that would do something like that. I don't know. Like it. Yeah, I don't know. And like, as to why I don't follow her, I don't like to follow people that like, I like to see things that make me upset on my Instagram. So if it upsets me, I like block, you know, whatever it is. Or like just get it off my timeline that I don't want to see. I don't want to have negative thoughts throughout the day.
So now that Ashley has apparently done her own Mindy on Tana, Brooke is kind of like, just seems very hypocritical. I can see if Ashley was just protective and didn't want to be best friends with Brooke, but the way Tana was talking about the situation kind of made it sound like Ashley has been especially hard on her. People in the comments have been reacting to the situation, and everyone is talking about how Ashley owes Brooke an apology, writing, Brooke's ability to have empathy for Ashley after Ashley was so obviously mean and petty towards her is admirable. I'm sorry, but Ashley owes Brooke the biggest apology. Putting her through hell for years, then doing the same? Brooke is better than me because I'd lose it. And as for Tana, everyone in the comments agrees that what Ashley did was hurtful. Of course, there's two sides to every story, but right now all we have is Tana's, and she seems really hurt. I don't think this is anything that will break up the friendship forever. I mean, Tana said it herself. This guy didn't really matter, but it's still a shock to find out your friend was hiding something from you, especially having to find out on your birthday trip. A lot of people are in the comments just saying how happy they are that Tana has Brooke and how clear it is that they care about each other a lot. You could tell talking about this Mindy stuff again was bringing up a lot of emotions from both of them. Tana and Brooke were able to make up in the end, so maybe Ashley and Tana will be able to, but the situation with Ashley does seem to be a little bit more deep, so who knows. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.